In this video, I share the steps that I took to write, create, and self-publish my very own children's picture book using the Amazon KDP platform. So if you've been wanting to publish your own children's book but just don't know where to start, then keep watching. Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome to my channel. Every single week, I share videos all about self-publishing books so that you can build your own self-publishing business, selling low and medium content and children's picture books on Amazon KDP. So if that sounds like something that is interesting to you, then please make sure to subscribe so you do not miss out on any videos just like this one. At the end of 2021, I published my very own children's picture book, this book right here. I did share a few videos about this book at the time that I published it, but that was a couple of years ago now, and this channel and this community has grown a lot since then, and there are a lot more people here now that may not know that I do in fact publish children's picture books. Most of the videos that I share on my channel are all about low and medium content books like coloring books, journals, and puzzle books. But this is another type of book that I really love publishing, and it's a totally different process to publishing low content books. This is actually the only book of mine that I have ever shared on this channel. I keep all of my books, pen names, and brands private, and unfortunately, because there are people out there who do steal and copy other people's books, I don't feel comfortable sharing any other books. Children's picture books are a little harder to just blatantly copy, which is why I did share this particular one when I did first publish it. And I want to create a new video for you about it for any of you out there who have always had the dream to create and publish your own children's picture book, but don't think that it's possible. This particular children's picture book, it is not a bestseller. It does not provide me a full-time income on its own, but it does sell copies every single month, and it has done so since I published it back in 2021. I didn't hire an illustrator to help me create this book. So if that is one of the things that has been stopping you from doing this yourself, then I will go over the ways to create a picture book without the use of an illustrator. But let's get into it. Let's go over the steps I took to get this book made, published, and selling on Amazon. First of all was coming up with the idea, the story, the characters for this book. There is a couple of ways that you can do this. You can research other popular books, look at what topics and themes are resonating with parents and kids. Of course, we're not going out and copying stories. We're looking at what kind of themes and topics people are liking. Look at all the best-selling books and try to figure out what it is that makes them so popular. And are any of those things that you come up with something that you could write a story about or incorporate into your story or into your book? For me, firstly, I knew that I wanted my story to be a rhyming story. And that's simply because I enjoy reading rhyming stories myself, more than those that don't rhyme. Rhyming stories can be quite difficult to write, so what type of stories you enjoy and are better at writing is probably the best one to go with. I personally loved the challenge of trying to write a rhyming story. Next was coming up with what the story was going to be about, and for me, I actually just came up with the title first. I don't know where it came from or how I came up with it. It just popped into my head one day when I was thinking about what type of story I wanted to write, and that's where I started. Now, I know that is not going to be very helpful if you're looking for a specific set of instructions telling you how to come up with a story idea, but that's how it happened for me and for this book. But some other ways of coming up with story ideas, if you're stuck, is again just doing some research, just looking at what is out there, thinking about what kinds of things do kids like. If you're a parent, this is going to be a lot easier for you because then you can just think about the kinds of things that your kid likes or the type of books they enjoy reading or having you read to them. Another option for you is you can purchase story prompt books, which will give you a prompt for a story, and that can be quite helpful in just getting creative juices flowing and coming up with a story idea. And the great thing about children's books, children's stories, is that there are literally no limits on what you can write a story about. It can be as boring a topic or as interesting a topic as you like. There is nothing too silly or weird that you can write books about when it comes to kids. Kids don't turn around and say, "Come on, mom, a talking duck." That's not going to happen. I was at the shops the other day with my daughter and we saw a book all about poo called My Big Fat Smelly Poo Diary. And it's a book all about poo. So basically just jot down different ideas you come across and then see which of them you might be able to make a story out of. Usually once you start this process, ideas will really start coming to you, and sometimes you'll find that you end up with more than one story idea. Once I started to form my story idea, I started to create the characters that I needed. For my story, I knew that there was going to be a duck that was going to meet a bunch of other farm animals on the way through the story. And so I started to make a list of what the other characters or what the other animals were going to be and possible names for those characters. If you ever struggle to think of names for your characters, there are lots of websites that give baby name ideas. This is a great place to get name ideas for your stories. And also sometimes as you actually start to write the story, you might find that you want to change a name or even a character or animal that you're using or something like that because it doesn't fit. And that's okay. Be prepared to adjust and take things out and add things in, replace things as you go through writing the story if you need to. One little tip for you if you are writing a rhyming story in particular, don't add in unnecessary words that don't make sense or don't fit the story just because it rhymes. If you can't find a word to rhyme in your sentence that actually makes sense, change your sentence. The next step after writing the story is laying out the pages. What sentences are going to go on each page, or what paragraphs are going to go on each page, depending on how many words are in your story. The age of the child that you're creating the book for will depend on how many sentences you have or how many paragraphs you have and how many pages are in your book. My book is aimed at say toddlers up to the age of maybe 4 years old, and these types of books in general will have around 40 pages or less. So I did a bit of a draft and placed each sentence on a page to see how it would all fit and to make sure the story wasn't too long or too short. To create the actual book, I just used Canva. Canva is a great resource to create documents in, so I just created a canvas the size that the book would be on Amazon, and in my case I created a square-shaped book that is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And this is where I just added each sentence or paragraph to the book. Nothing fancy, just a plain font for now. I was just working out the spacing and each page so then I could start thinking about illustrations. Now that I had the basic layout sorted, it was time to start illustrating. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I didn't hire an illustrator. I created these pages myself. Now, I'm not going to say that I illustrated this book because people seem to get very upset when I say that, but before I go into the process that I used, I just want to say something very quickly about this. Whenever I talk about illustrating a children's picture book and not using an actual illustrator, I get quite a bit of backlash, particularly from the creative community and illustrators. There is more than one way to do something. There is no right or wrong way. For me, it's about removing roadblocks and using what's available to you to just get started. Hiring an illustrator is very expensive, and while we would all love to do that, it is just not possible for the majority of us. I'm a big believer in finding another way. Find your own path. And if your dream is to publish a children's picture book, but the one thing that is stopping you is hiring an illustrator, then find another way, at least until you can afford an illustrator, if that is what you would prefer to do. So of course, one way that you can do it is you can illustrate the book yourself. You don't have to be a great artist. I've shared a few videos here on my channel about children's picture books with very simple, very basic illustrations that sell extremely well. There are even some best-selling children's picture books that have the most simple illustrations in them. I did not do this though, and if you don't want to do that either, then this is what I did. I purchased pre-made illustrations from an illustrator, but there are pros and cons to this. The cons are that other people can buy these illustrations too, and so there's always the chance that another book can have the same or similar illustrations in it as to what you have. It's also hard to find characters with different facial expressions. I would have loved to have given the main character in my book different facial expressions on every page, but it just wasn't possible with what I had. And I haven't had too much negative feedback about that aspect of the book. The pros to purchasing pre-made illustrations are that they're extremely affordable and you can still get access to professional, high quality illustrations to use in your book. It's also a lot quicker, a much quicker way to be able to illustrate your book than hiring that out to an illustrator, which can take months for them to complete a whole book. Doing it this way is not taking advantage of the illustrator and you're not using images you shouldn't be. In my case, I purchased these images from an illustrator that was selling them with commercial rights use. That means that that illustrator has created these pictures, they are selling them, and they are letting people use them on or in products that are going to be sold. So this brings me on to tip number 2, and that is when you are buying any images to use in any of your books, make sure that you are allowed to use them in products that you are going to be selling. There are lots of stock image websites out there where you can find images to buy, but for images that look like actual illustrations that were meant to go into a children's picture book and would suit that kind of book, I find that Creative Market is a great resource, and it had the exact type of images that I was looking for. I wanted my book to have a watercolor style to it, and so I just went on there and I did a search for illustrations with a watercolor style of farm animals and farm scenes. Tip number 3 is that if you are going to be buying images from multiple illustrators, make sure to find illustrators who use the same style. So I did end up purchasing some image packs from a couple of different illustrators, but I made sure that they all created the watercolor style of images, because it wouldn't have made sense if I used watercolor style images for parts of my book and then used really bright, bold cartoon images for the rest of the book. Then I took all of those illustrations that I'd purchased and placed them on the page and created each page. This was probably the most time-consuming part of the whole process, because I really wanted each page to look like an illustration and not like I had just placed a bunch of images over the pages, even though I did. Let's look at the first 2 pages of the book. This is page 1 and page 2. These pages have so many different elements that I added. For example, this grass and the river was one image. This grass here was another image. The sky in the background was another image. The clouds were a separate image. The sun was a separate image. This grass here was separate. These rocks are all separate images that I placed, as well as this grass here behind the rocks. These flowers were individually placed here. These little ducks were also individual images placed, and so on as I go through the book. All the tiny little elements were not one picture, they were just many pictures that I meshed together to try to make it look like I had one illustration. Taking the time here will help make your book look so much more professional, cohesive, and put together. I then created a front and back cover for the book to match the feel and style of the interior pages of the book, so that the customer can get an idea just by looking at the cover what the style of book is and what the style of story is. Once I had finished doing all of this, I couldn't believe it, but I had actually written and created my very own children's picture book, something that I had been wanting to do for years, and it probably took me a week all up. Once I had decided on the story and the characters, from there, writing it, getting those illustrations on the page, took me about a week. It was time to publish it on Amazon and start selling it. It does take a couple of days to get reviewed by Amazon, and then it was available for sale across all Amazon's marketplaces. One other thing that I also did was that I did convert this into a Kindle ebook so that people could buy a digital version of the book if they preferred, and then I also enrolled it in Kindle Unlimited. This means that people who have a Kindle Unlimited subscription can effectively borrow the book and read it as part of their subscription, so they're not technically buying the book from you. What happens is you get paid per page read, which of course is not much at all from a 40-page children's book. But also, if someone doesn't have Kindle Unlimited and they want to purchase the Kindle ebook version outright, you do get a royalty for that. I also did set up a little bit of a launch for the book where I put it on websites where it's available for people to receive a free copy of your book in exchange for a review on Amazon to help get some reviews for the book when it is newly published. One misconception people have about Amazon is that they are not allowed to ask for reviews. You are totally allowed to ask for reviews on your books for Amazon. You are not allowed to ask for a positive review or a 5-star review. All you can do is ask for an honest review. I also offered the Kindle version of the book for free for a short period of time when it was newly published, and also did a couple of little promotions in newsletters that have lists of people subscribed to them who want to be notified about new or free books available on Amazon. These didn't cost me too much. I think from memory, I might have spent $50 in total on those newsletter promotions, and it helped get a few reviews and sales to start off with. I do have plans to continue publishing children's picture books under this pen name. I really love the process of coming up with this story, coming up with the characters, and writing a rhyming storybook. And I hope that you enjoyed hearing and seeing the process that I took to create and self-publish my own children's picture book. And my only hope is that I can inspire and motivate you to do the same. Remember that there is always more than one way to do something. And if there is something standing in your way and stopping you, find another way. If you did enjoy this video, YouTube thinks you might like these ones too, so please go check them out to learn more about self-publishing your own low, medium content and children's picture books using the Amazon KDP platform. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.